welcome to another episode, Fun Friday, where we bring you just some fun ideas for you to do with your family. And today we have some special guests from the Average Daters. So we're really excited. We're going to be talking with here in a minute with McCall and Collin. So stay tuned after this.
So welcome, eFam. So we are here with the Average Daters. We discovered them on Instagram, and they are some funny people. and they have some really cool things, and we're going to dive into more about them. But first, we just want to say welcome. Welcome, McCall and Collin. Collin, y'all, welcome to enjoying your blended family.
Thank you. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, it's nice to be here.
Yes.
Well, I watched one of your Instagrams not long ago, and before we even get going, I think we need to bring this up. So there was something with a tortilla and slapping in the face.
We're like, what are they? Is there questions, or you just straight slap each other?
It's rock, paper, scissors.
Rock, paper, scissors, slap.
Like whoever wins just slaps the other person. That's still one of my all-time favorite things we've done.
And was it like a fake tortilla, or is it a real tortilla?
It's a real tortilla, just like
mission tortillas that we buy at
from
Smith's, smacking each other across the face with them.
Well, Collin, I think I was watching you, and you had no mercy. Like, it was like
he his first hit me so hard, and it like really hurt my earring, like where it hit me. And then the second time he did it and it got my earring again, I was like, that's it, earring's coming out, like this is gonna hurt. But we were laughing so hard that even though it was hurting, it wasn't like it hurt. It was more of a shock factor. Yeah. It was like your full face just getting smashed by a tortilla at the same. You did break the tortilla one time, hitting me. It like ripped it. I was like, that is too hard.
So is there like something going around on TikTok and you're like, let's do this? Or
yes, what? I saw somebody do it on TikTok and I was like, yep, we're doing it. That's it. We're doing it. And I wish I could find more of those just so bizarre, funny, random things. I'm not very good at coming up with them on my own, but if I come across something like that, usually I'm like, okay, Collin, this is it. We got to do it. Yeah, he didn't. Sometimes it takes some convincing, but for that one, he was like, okay. Yeah, it's awesome.
I get to slap you?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was fun.
It gets serious when the earrings come off. That's when it's okay. The game on. So.
Yeah. I am like a weenie. I don't do pain, so I don't think I would sign up for something where Randall was slapping me in the face with like a tortilla. I don't know. Maybe I should like man up or just like try it. It just seems scary.
It was fun. It was a little scary. And again, there was the shock factor, but it was way fun.
Y'all were laughing so hard. I'm like, if it makes you laugh that much, it has to be good. But
I did not laugh that hard in a really long time. And we said that after, like, wow, when was the last time we laughed that hard? It was awesome.
It sounds so loud. Like,
yeah,
but it's just
it's great. So I'm sure glad that you saw that video.
Well, I had to bring that up before we got into it, but listen, we love what the two of you are doing. We think that it's so important that couples stay active dating and stay active being intentional in that is something we talk about a lot. But just to be able to really hear from the two of you and kind of your heart and everything behind it. But before we dive into that, we always like to ask the question, what's your family dynamics? What does your family look like? We're a blended family and we have, a bunch of kids, but they're like older now, right? Our youngest is 19 and, we've been doing this a little while, but we always love just, how long have y'all been married? How many kids do you have?
We are 4.5 years.
Yep.
Married 4.5 years. We have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. They just turned 3 and 1. They almost have the same birthday, January 19th and January 17th.
Yeah, 2 years and 2 days apart.
2 days apart.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's fun.
And both little girls. And yeah, that's been pretty much it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I know y'all aren't like,
Right.
y'all aren't actually a blended family, but we still like to have people on that just have the same vision for marriage. And I know that you guys have that with the average daters. It's just really putting the priority of marriage up there and dating each other in your marriage.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So tell us about average daters. Tell us kind of what that is, how that sparked.
Oh, he got the shimmy going. Oh,
I think
Even
you're
more
more
than
about
that.
it.
oh that's, I thought you were like,
This is the one for me to answer.
That's good.
We always kind of joked, kind of not joked about starting a blog of some sort in our marriage. So it was always a topic of conversation. And one day Colin came home from work and just said, "Hey, I know a blog for us to start." And he'd thrown out so many ideas in the past. I mean, seriously, don't even get me started on
I know, I kind of want to hear, like, what were some
The
of his
original idea was we get a dog and we just take pictures of our cute dog.
because people do that, right?
They do.
And we
Yes.
introduce men's fashion in the background of the dog with our
And then all of a sudden we
and then we have a
men's fashion blog.
men's fashion blog with cute puppies in it.
I was like, we're not doing that.
I can't believe that you didn't sign up for that.
You know what? It could have really taken off, I'm sure.
There's probably someone out there that's sitting on a stack of millions of dollars because they have that.
Exactly. So when he came home from work and said, "I know what blog we need to start," I'm like, okay, what's it going to be this time, you know? And he said, "A dating blog." And I just like looked at him for a second and said, "Yeah, let's do it." It just made sense for us. So we love finding new places to go, doing new things. Like we've never been the people that just do your like typical date, you know,
Okay. Out of the box things.
yes, like we've always done the out of the box things, and we like to eat at, you know, unique small local restaurants, hole in the wall places, just stuff like that. And people in our lives, friends, family members, would often ask us for ideas. Where should we go? What should we do?
Yeah.
Because they knew we were doing that. So we decided we might as well start sharing that publicly, you know, with everybody.
Yeah.
And so it initially started as, let's just share some like Utah local stuff.
Yeah.
And it's grown from there, where we share a lot more than just Utah local things. I think the majority of our following is in Utah, I think. But we do have followers outside of Utah. We share tons of at-home stuff. It's transitioned into, you know, not just dates to go on, but ways to strengthen your marriage from day to day, the little things you can do together to have a strong marriage, how to prioritize your relationship, and how to do all of that when you're working, when you've got kids, when you
got a side hustle, and the kids
like
are going to school or swim lessons,
all the things, you know.
Yeah.
And so that's really where it started, though. And it's really grown from there. And it's just awesome to be able to connect with couples, give couples ideas to help their marriage. And in turn, it's helping our marriage, you know, to have these experiences together and then share them with other people.
It's a good excuse to get out on a Friday night or a Saturday and go try something new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of almost keeps you accountable to do that, right?
Well, it does. Sometimes I'm like, we need a date like now, like, you know, like, come on.
The dates are harder than the actual, like, we trying new places for us. Like, it's easy to get stuck doing the same date over and over again.
Right.
And so that one's like, we actually have to plan those out, and that pushes us to try new things. Going out to dinner, we're like, we rarely go to the same place twice anyways. And so it's just,
which is good and bad. Sometimes we're like, we like loved that place and we haven't been back for 2 years because we're trying all these other places. Like, can we just go back to some of these places we love for a second?
There were other things on the menu that looked good.
Exactly. But then we're like, no, like, we've got to find more places and support more places and share about those. And so, yeah.
I love that. Well, and I love that y'all do have because we have sort of a similar storyline as far as how we started. Our blog is where it started out as, but we didn't get started till we were what, like 12 years in, and like we struggled so hard. We knew that our marriage was priority, but we
Yeah.
were so involved with our kids and their activities and everything, and with our careers, that prioritizing it was difficult for us. So we began to search out and do sort of like what you guys are doing in the very beginning. That's how we started. So I love that y'all, like, so early on in your marriage, realize that, like, and are making a priority from the beginning.
Yeah.
And not just that, but leading, and showing other couples how you can do it, giving ideas and things of that. Just that inspiration is powerful. So, that's just amazing. So what are some things, why are some reasons that y'all see that people don't date, married couples struggle with this?
Yeah. There's a few things that people usually say. One is finding babysitters.
Yeah.
Like finding a babysitter is really hard. Money.
Yeah.
They just don't have the money to be able to date, is what they say.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Don't have to have a lot of money to date, but that is one of the things. So babysitters and money are the top two we probably hear, and then just busy.
We say like busy, like you have soccer practice and football practice, and if you're involved in a church, or you have friends that you're like, we have to get together with our friends, and we have family that we've got to go see, and then it's like you've got work, how most people work, and then in this world everybody has a side hustle like a blog or a podcast or something else that just all these things take time and take it away from those other things, and it just makes it difficult. And so
Yeah.
For sure. And what's some of that advice that you give them, like whenever you hear these things, we've been victims of that as well. So, what's some of that advice that you can share and pass on?
Yeah, and we're fixing to record a podcast on, like, if you don't have a babysitter, like things to do. So if you have like good tips for that too, and we can pass that on as well.
Yeah. So in regards to babysitters, there's so many different ways to have a babysitter. There's just like your typical, you've got like a neighbor girl who comes and does it, which we do a lot of that. We are lucky enough to live by family, and I know that some people just don't have that, like if they don't live by family, family can't help babysit. But if you do, use your family. It's okay, ask them to help. Do child swaps, like find another, a couple in your neighborhood and say, hey, we'll watch your kids this night so you guys can go out, and then you guys watch our kids on this night and we'll go out.
Yep. Once a month kind of a thing where you just, they swap bring their kids over to your house for the evening and they get to go out, and vice versa. You just find somebody that your kids are similar ages, they like to do similar things, and it's free babysitting and an excuse to get out, and it's easier for you to babysit when your kids have somebody to play with.
Yeah, for sure.
Effort off.
We did it with my brother for a little while. We would swap every other month, and so then the kids are just playing with their cousins. It's super easy.
So they're around the same ages and stuff too, makes it easy.
So it makes it really simple. So doing some swaps like that. But if you can't find a babysitter, there are so many things you can do at home. There really are. And we share a lot of at-home date stuff on our page. It became really big during 2020. like everybody was looking for things to do at home,
For sure.
And so that's when we really started sharing a lot of at-home stuff. And since then, people continue to ask us for at-home dates. And at-home dates don't have to be boring. I feel like people are like, oh, well, an at-home date, it's not that fun. Or we'll just like watch a movie. But there's so much more you can do.
Right.
And it sounds like you're going to be sharing, some options when you don't have babysitters. And so that's what I would say is, there's options for babysitters and money. Just set a budget, and it doesn't have to be super expensive. We do some of the crazy expensive dates sometimes, and then we also do the super cheap dates as well. And one really isn't more fun than the other. They're different and they're good in their own way. So
Like-
you don't have to spend a bunch of money.
One that McCall didn't want to do at first was Nickelcade. Literally,
that?
like
Just
an
the
arcade,
arcade.
like a
Oh,
coin
okay, okay.
arcade.
The coin
Yeah.
machine.
A
Okay.
little coin arcade that we got $10 worth of nickels, and it cost us $2 to get in, so $12, and we were there for 2.5 hours playing these little coin op
Yeah.
video games and arcade games and down the cloud and basketball shooting and all that kind of stuff.
Nice.
And yeah, like I wasn't excited, and he's like, this is what we're doing, and we went, and now we go back all the time. We just go to the arcade because we really enjoy it.
Yeah. The arcade
there's
is fun.
ways
That
to
really
do
is a fun date. Just
Yeah.
so do y'all alternate like who's picks the date, and or do y'all just come up with the ideas just randomly, or how does that go? Do y'all have a system or no?
Early
Yeah.
on,
Yeah, early on.
we traded months, and we would do we got challenged to do fantasy date night, where you plan a date
Okay.
all based on yourself. So like I like seafood and McCall doesn't. So I would pick like a sushi place or somewhere where I could get some seafood or something like that.
Because on
And
a regular night, he wouldn't choose
I would never
that.
choose that because I know
Okay.
she doesn't like it.
Right.
But on
Yeah.
fantasy date night, I can pick whatever I want, and she
Oh.
has to say yes to it.
Love that.
Versa. And so like we do things that
That was one. The
Nickelcade
Nickelcade was
one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
that I wanted to do so bad because I'm a little bit of a nerd, and I like the Capcom, Street Fighters, those kinds of things,
Yes.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the old Relic games.
Yes.
And so I was like, we're doing this. And she had to say yes. And then she was like,
Yeah.
actually, this is pretty fun.
Yeah.
They actually ended up being our favorite dates, honestly. And it's just nice to not always have to please the other person, or like both people are always having to compromise,
Yeah.
and just take an opportunity to just do it, right? Like
Yeah.
do what you want to do, and the other person ends up enjoying it. So yeah, in the beginning of our marriage, we were taking turns going back and forth planning fantasy date nights. And then outside of fantasy date night, we usually would just kind of plan together what we were doing. It's definitely evolved from there. So now Colin plans one date a month, which is all he really cares to plan right now with how busy he is with everything else. And I'm fine with that because I'm the one primarily like, I'm on Instagram and I'm finding the different places to go to, and I'm working with different companies, who are like, hey, come try this date out or this and that. And so I coordinate all of those types of things. And so he plans the one date a month, and I plan the rest of our life.
Yep.
And it
And-
works great.
How often do y'all try to incorporate your date nights?
So we go on a date weekly,
Okay.
So once a
and
week.
more often than not, it is outside of the house.
Okay.
If we can get babysitters, or like if the kids aren't sick or whatever, but I would say 95% of the time our date night is out of the house every single week.
And do y'all have a set day of the week that you're doing it, or are y'all flexible and you just make sure that y'all have a date that week?
She writes it down on the calendar on Saturday.
Saturdays, it gets written down for the month.
But then if something comes up, like I've got family in Utah and she's got family in Utah, so there's activities.
Something always comes up, I swear.
We'll shift it. We'll be flexible and shift it to other nights that can work and rearrange the calendar. But yeah, we write it for Saturdays and then shift as needed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we try to do like a Friday or Saturday night. It's easier to find a babysitter rather than, like, our main babysitters are teenage girls, so weeknights are hard because it's a school night for them.
Yeah.
But every now and again we end up doing some weeknight stuff.
Yeah. I love that, because that was always one of our things, is we knew it was priority, and we could always tell it in our marriage whenever we weren't spending enough time together. We
Yeah.
would start getting really frustrated with each other, start focusing on each other's negative things, or
Yep.
those would amplify for sure. And then
Yeah.
it's like, wait a minute, We just need to start spending more time together.
Which is weird that it's, they are annoying you, but yet it's that you need to be more with them more.
Right. It's
And
because
so we would say, okay, we're putting it on this day every week. And then something would always happen. Something would come up. And it's like you couldn't do it that day. And so, yeah, learning to be flexible, we found that was very, very beneficial for us.
Well, and we do have a rule. So date night never gets erased. It just gets shifted.
That's good. Love that.
Yeah, I like
Because
that.
so many people will say, okay, yeah, we're gonna do date night and we're gonna do it on this day, and it goes on the calendar, and then something comes up and they go, dang, okay, we'll have to reschedule that, and they erase it, right? It's gone.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden another month goes by or whatever, and it's like, oh wait, we never rescheduled that. So that doesn't work for us. The minute something comes up on a Saturday, I just move it over to Friday. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts. It just moves to a different day, and we make sure it happens every single week. So no erasing, just shifting.
Love that. Love that.
That happened to us last week with our Friday. We had it planned for a Friday night, and then something came up, and then we shifted it. And McCall was like, well, let's do it Monday because Monday's a holiday. And so we went midday to a movie together, and had her mom watch the girls while we went to a movie and got popcorn. And
because we had gone an entire week and the date didn't happen because of stuff that ended up happening, Friday and Saturday. And I was like, that's it. He's not working Monday, so we're doing it Monday. Like that's where it's happening.
So we went on a date on Monday, and we've got another date
and we
planned
still
for
have
Saturday,
a date
so.
for Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah.
So y'all just get them closer together now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. So there's just less time in between this week.
So have y'all ever been on a date that just both of y'all going into it were like, I don't know if this is going to really be fun, and it turned out to be just, it surprised both of you? Hey, we'll be back momentarily. Check out this announcement.
Hey B fam, if you're looking for some fun out-of-the-box date night ideas, you've got to check out the Adventure Challenge. They have books for couples, family, friends, and even solo adventures. So get one for you and your family, or they make a great gift idea.
Yeah, we really enjoy their products and just all the out-of-the-box things. So we decided to become affiliates with them just to share their products with you. We have an affiliate link that you can use below. So at checkout, use the promo code Enjoy the Moment for 10% off of your total purchase. This is just another way for you to be able to enjoy the moment. So back to our episode.
Both of us, I'm not sure, but the last one I remember was McCall wanted to do one of these, the Adventure Challenge.
Do you guys have the Adventure Challenge?
We do, yes.
We do,
yes, yes.
And they are out of the box. And so sometimes it's like, what? But we usually end up enjoying
And
it.
so I was like dreading it, to be honest.
He totally was. He was like being
this
so.
is gonna be so stupid. I don't want to do this.
Was it like y'all's
It's a
first
long
one
day.
on Adventure Challenge, or just like,
It was our very first Adventure Challenge date.
okay.
And it ended up being drawing a cartoon strip of
A comic strip.
a comic
Yeah.
strip of like our life,
Our love story.
and I was like, this is gonna be so dumb.
Oh, and the captions were supposed to be in Chinese characters. So then you had to like Google Translate to like write all your stuff.
Okay, we haven't scratched that one off yet.
Just wait till you scratch that one
Sounded
off.
So weird. And I was like, this is gonna be dumb. And then we sat down and I started drawing, and I was like, oh, I can make this funny. So I like drew a picture, because one of our first times hanging out together, she came to a party at my house, and we called it the Hubilation from the Grinch. It was Christmas time.
Yeah.
We made a roast beast, a giant
Oh.
turkey. And I
Nice.
pulled it out of the oven, and my picture drawing was me bending over the oven, pulling out this thing, and she's looking at my butt. So I've got this glorified butt, cartoon butt, and it was just like funny, being funny, and her looking over and laughing at it. Was,
And in his Chinese characters, he wrote, "Look at that butt,"
uh-huh,
and I'm just like sitting there behind
sitting
him.
there behind me, looking straight at it, and
He was so good at it, like everything he came up with for this comic strip. And at the end of the date, he said, that was actually a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then he said, I actually really enjoyed drawing, but
I'm not good at drawing by any means, but like it's fun to.
But
doodle
he's
and-
never going to just sit down and draw.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so the date pushed him to do that, and it was really fun.
Yep.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
love that. Yeah, I think I would have been a lot like you seeing that going, oh.
He does that for a lot of dates. He's just like,
I do.
everything sounds like such like the work.
But then you get into it and you're like, that was actually fun. As soon as
Right.
like, you start doing it, it's more of like a mental block of putting in that initial effort to do something,
Yeah.
but the actual activity was a blast. And yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we love the adventure challenge as well. Just the out of the box things that kind of come
Yep.
from that.
Have y'all got the in bed one yet?
We have
Okay.
just like a week ago, so we just used it for our first time.
Okay, so I know what y'all do.
like just a couple of days ago. So, and you know, like it's different too. So we got that, and we got the dinner dates one. We haven't used the dinner
Okay.
dates one yet. But yeah, so we just got the in bed one, and it's great.
Yeah. we're working through that one as well. So yeah, we haven't done the dinner one yet. I think that just came out
Yeah.
not long ago, but
Yes.
but yeah. So yeah, I love that. It helps us too, just to do something different. You know, so
Absolutely.
that way, like I was saying before, it's easy to fall in those same routines of doing the same thing
Mhm.
over and over again, to where it just kind of can get boring after a while. So
Yep.
so yeah, it's fun.
Is there anything like, because I know y'all have done like date crates and adventure challenge, like, is there any of all of like those things that you purchase or have it delivered that is just like your go-to favorite that you love?
We've done a lot of date boxes, a ton. And we had for a while, a lot of companies were sending them to us, you know, in the midst of COVID and everything, like, hey, like tell everybody we exist, right? And honestly, out of all of them, we've really enjoyed date crates.
Love it.
Jamie, and she's here in Utah. So she's close to us. We actually met in person. We did a date with her and her husband recently. And but before meeting her, she sent us a date, and we were just really impressed with the like realness and deepness of her questions.
Yes.
There's so many conversation cards out there, you know, and things to do and interact with each other and ask these questions and stuff. And some of them just seem the same over and over and over. But Jamie's questions really took us to a different level. And I tell her that all the time, like your questions are just different than other people's, which we really appreciate. So we've done quite a few of Jamie's. We've got the adventure challenge. But
we've done the travel one a couple times too.
travel date nights. I don't know if you've heard of them.
No, I haven't heard of that.
They're
one.
also from Utah, so they're by
Okay.
us as well. And they every month for your date, you travel to a new country, and everything's themed with that. So like your food is themed with that, your activities, everything they put together is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
But outside of those things, I mean, we play a lot of games when we're at home. We're game people. So
Is it board
Yeah.
games or
Board
different
Board
kinds?
games.
board games, yeah.
Okay. What's your
So-
favorite?
Oh, right now.
Right now I'm loving Space Base. It's basically the best way I can describe it easily is a mixture of Settlers of Catan
We've played that before.
with Splendor.
Haven't
some
played
more-
it.
Oh, yeah, we played that.
So you basically like you got
It's too hard to explain.
It's too hard to
like
explain.
It's a board game. that
awesome
you-
game.
It's an awesome
Okay.
game.
Yes.
We
Space
loved Catan. Catan was fun. We actually had our oldest came over with her boyfriend, brought the game. We had never heard of it, and then we had our other daughter and her brother there, and so we played in three teams basically.
Yeah.
And me and her won. We were like,
There you go.
yeah. And our oldest was so mad. She was like, they just knew they were going to win because they'd played it so many times before.
Right. They even played on their phone and stuff. And when they were explaining it, I was like, this is too much for an evening. Like my brain doesn't want to have to think. And then as soon as we got started, it was like, hey, look at our card. Like we're going to kick some butt. So I started strategizing, and yeah, it was fun.
Yep, we like Catan.
Well,
Yeah, we've been playing that, and then we've been playing the Crew a lot. It's it's like Rook rules. Have you ever played Rook?
no.
It's just a trick playing game, but it's cooperative, so you're not competing against each other, you're working together.
It's like
Okay.
counting cards and seeing who's played what cards to make sure they go to the right people. And you
Yeah.
play hand by hand.
I love
We've
it.
found that finding some games that are cooperative are good for us because we're very competitive people and we are known to argue over games. And so we found some really fun games to play where you're on the same team and you're trying to beat the game rather than beat each other.
Have you ever like
That's
written
good.
that up? Because for blended families, we talk about that too, like being careful with the games you choose because of the fact that it can push people against each other instead of like bringing you together. Have you written anything like with all cooperative games?
So I'm in the process right now of writing like 20 different blog posts that are all game related.
Oh, nice. Okay.
For all different things.
Overachiever.
That is one of the ones
Okay.
that I'm doing because we get so many questions about games. Like we are not game bloggers, but it has just become a very big part of our page. And so I'm like, okay, we're just going to do this. And so I have just a list of a million different thing, questions we get asked for different things, 2-player specific games, cooperative games, party games just for a double date, like all of that sort of stuff. So it is coming.
Okay.
Well, that's
Awesome.
good. Yes, we will be on the lookout for that because that would
Yes.
be very exciting. So if there's a couple out there that's struggling to make dating a priority in their marriage, like where would you tell them to start? What would be some advice you could give them?
To start dating, I would say do something small. Like it doesn't have to be anything big. Literally going to dinner without your kids could be the first step to getting to that next level. Like sometimes McCall and I don't have enough time, and literally 1 hour together away from the kids is the way to get started on going on the next date. Do something like that. Like just go to dinner and come home and just have that relaxation time away and just put your phones away. Like,
Good.
you
That's
not
good.
disturb them, put them in the purse, have one of you put them in your pocket. Guys, I literally stole McCall's phone one night because we got to the restaurant. She pulled it out and was scrolling through Instagram and for our hour date. And I took it out of her hand and I put it in my pocket. And she said, thanks. And then we like sat and
I
had
was
a
like,
really
thank
nice,
you so much for
really
taking
nice
that
night.
from me.
It wasn't even an issue because I'm like not into Instagram that much. Like I'm not on there all the time.
Yeah.
But that's where
I would also
everything.
say,
Love
I
that.
would also say to get started, ask your spouse on a date.
Okay.
I like that.
Colin and I don't do that a ton just because like we just kind of know that date night's happening. But
Yeah.
every now and again, like for Monday, when date night just kept not happening last week, I said, hey, will you go on a date with me on Monday?
Yeah.
And he was like, sure. Like, what did you want to do? I said, well, I'm currently buying us movie tickets because we haven't been to a movie in a while and it's super easy and fun. Let's do it. But asking your spouse on a date, like, remember when you got so excited when someone asked you on a date, back in the day? So
Go
just
curl your hair.
yes, like you actually like got all dolled up for a date. Like do those things. Do the things you used to do when you were dating, the things that you wanted to do to impress the person you were going out with, to make that good impression, to get yourself feeling really good. Do those small things like that. Because it builds the anticipation, it gets you excited, brings in, some of the flirty atmosphere, those types of things. So, and it's so small, it's so easy to just ask your spouse on a date.
Yeah. Love that. So that is just some great advice right there. So start small. So if you're having problems, start small. You don't have to do anything big. And then ask your spouse on a date. Just, hey, you want a date?
Do a little card. Do you want to go
Yes.
on a date with me? Check yes or
Write a
no.
little note.
Yes or no,
Like, yes or
exactly.
no, like put post-it note on the mirror before she gets up. Like
Yeah.
you have
Yeah.
an early date where like, hey, you want to go out on a date Friday?
Yeah.
And on the mirror, check yes, no, or send them a text like, hey, can I take you out this night?
Oh, there you go. Love that
Um,
too. Yeah.
Like
Great
they don't
ideas.
have to be a big things, but it also makes it easier to not cancel those when you're like, I'm taking you out that night.
Yeah.
That's true.
doing
Makes it
this.
special, right? Yeah. Something that you start looking forward to. So
Have y'all have like a success story, like someone that came to y'all and like they were really struggling with that, and then they started following some of y'all stuff or doing some of the things, and it just changed their marriage?
Um, yeah, I mean, we get so many people messaging us saying like, thank you for this suggestion. Like, you know, we had so much fun doing this, or all of, you know, our babysitter canceled the same day you shared 5 at-home dates, and we were
oh,
able to
wow,
just
yeah.
choose one of those. Or you know, we haven't been on a date in years, and everything you were sharing looked so fun, and we decided to do it.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing for us, those people who haven't dated in years, you know, and their marriage is slowly turning into more of like roommates rather than
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
husband
it's
and
easy
wife,
for
you
that
know, or
to happen and to fall into that pattern.
yep,
So yeah.
exactly.
And we always say that that's one
Oh,
of the,
sorry, a kid just
uh-oh.
he's going to get a kid. Ah!
Ours is a cat, y'all's is a kid.
I know, dang it. He's checking on her. But I lost my train of thought.
Oh, you're good. Yeah, we're just saying that it's so easy to fall into that trap of
Becoming roommates and
becoming roommates, letting
Yes,
it slip.
yes.
And what's crazy is that's how we fell in love in the first place, where we're out doing things and
Right.
then we get married and we let life rob that from us if we're not careful. So I
Yeah.
love what the two of you are doing, just helping bring that back to
Mm-hmm.
married couples and keeping that, reminding them of the importance of that, and then giving them the ideas of saying, hey, try some of this. You know, don't fall into
Yep.
this same routine. Here's some new ideas, have fun, do new things. So
Yep.
have new experiences.
Yes, there's a quote, and I'm like trying to remember exactly how it said, so I might botch it, but it says dating got you to the point of wanting to get married. So if you want to stay married, keep dating.
That's good.
We all dated, right?
Yeah.
It's very rare in this day and age that people got
Yeah.
married without dating first. We did that, and that's how we fell in love. You know,
Yeah.
that's what made us want to get married. And so if you want to have a strong, healthy, thriving marriage, you got to keep dating.
Yep. Good stuff.
Love
Great
that.
advice. How can our listeners find the two of you? What are some of the platforms and things like that if they're looking for some
Yeah.
info?
Our main platform is Instagram at The Average Daters. And I mean, we're there every day. Well, I'm there every day. Colin's there some days. If I can get him on there, depending on his work
Bribe him
day.
into doing a reel with you.
Yeah.
There's a tortilla.
He's got some moves though. He really does have some moves.
He does, and I tell him all the time, people love when he shows up on our page. Like, people are like, oh cool, McCall's here. Oh, Collin. Oh, Colin's on today. Like, this is a good one. Like, people love it when he shows up and he can shake his booty. So there's some fun there. So yeah, we're primarily on Instagram. I mean, we are on TikTok. I just sometimes I forget to post. I think I haven't posted there in a few months.
We're the same way. Like,
it shouldn't be that hard, you know. I could
Yeah.
just share the same things as I'm doing on Instagram. But and then we do have a website with a blog, and it's theaveragedaters.com. So and that link is in our bio on Instagram. So if you want to just come chill with us, hang with us, get to know our weird selves, head over to Instagram.
nice.
Well, we thank the two of you for taking the time just to come share with our listeners and just bring that reminder of how important it is just to continue dating, and some of the ideas that you shared, just that start small, ask each other out for a date, but do it weekly. Make this a weekly thing of something that doesn't get erased, but you just shift it if you need to. Be flexible. So some great advice, great wisdom. and love the humor. So love what you two are doing. So keep it up, and we just appreciate you. But thank you for being here, and we hope that we'll have you back again. So we'll hope y'all come back and visit.
Yes.
Of course. Thanks so much.
Thanks.
All
All
right.
right. So blended family, thank you for showing up. Great episode. Remember, go date your spouse. It's important. Got to make it happen. So we love you
Mhm.
guys,
Yeah.
and we'll see you on the next episode. Bye.
Bye. Hey, thanks for joining us for another fun Friday here at Enjoying Your Blended Family. All the links we talked about today are in the show notes. And if you enjoyed listening, be sure to subscribe because it's free and it lets you know when we have another episode out for you to listen to.
And if you don't mind helping us out so we can start reaching more people, leave us a rating and review. You never know when we'll give you a shout out. Until next time, have fun being intentional and remember to enjoy the moment.